Hi everyone, and welcome to week 3 of our class. So in the email that I sent out to everyone yesterday, I sort of did a wrap-up of week 2, some of the things that you should have learned last week. We talked about populations. Specifically, we looked at what a population is. We talked about the differences in how populations grow. So we talked about exponential growth and logistic growth. We talked about limits to exponential growth and what limits a population. And then we spent some time discussing human populations and some of the factors that have led to an exponentially growing human population. And again, can't grow exponentially forever, right? At some point, the environment is going to push back. And so we talked a little bit also about carrying capacities and what the potential carrying capacity for humans might be. This week, we are moving on to our next topic. Oh, actually, before I keep going, just a couple of things. First of all, I had a couple of emails about the room number for the Socrative survey. I'll start putting it in the link for Socrative to remind everyone, but also as a reminder, it's actually in our course orientation learning module. And there's a link here that says Socrative. And again, it's Pierce 5099. So that's going to be the same room number that we're going to use every single week, and the survey will update. And so the survey is going to be available, last week's survey is going to be available until the end of the day today. And then starting Tuesday morning, you will see the next survey. And also please remember that the survey is meant to be taken after you have completed the module. So if you can, please make sure that you have gone through the readings and the notes and seen the videos and done as many of the assignments as you can, because the goal here, the idea here, is to get feedback on what you sort of did learn. So what's something that you learned or something you didn't know before, but also then an opportunity for you to ask questions. So as a reminder, those questions are being answered in our Socrative question forum. So if you click here on Socrative questions, I've already answered last week's were the week 1 questions. So all the questions that were asked to me, I've gone ahead and put them in here, answered them and put them here. And then I will work on the same thing today. I will work on posting questions that were asked to me for week 2. Okay, and we'll sort of continue to do that week by week. And again, it's a way for you to be able to get a little feedback or some more information on things that you have questions about. Also, I asked you last week to start working on thinking about what you want to do for your green technology presentation. So in the past, when I have had face-to-face classes, these presentations have typically involved creating some type of a poster display, and that we would all share our posters sort of during class time, and I would have students go around looking at everybody's poster presentations, and it looked a little bit differently. Now that we've transitioned online and we're doing this all online, the presentations are going to look a little bit different. You still need to have some sort of visual material that you can share with others using Flipgrid. So for those of you who have posted your introductions on our Flipgrid, you're kind of familiar with how Flipgrid works, right? You pressed that little green plus button, and it began to record a video for you. So you're going to do the same thing for these green technology presentations. So you're going to need to have something visual to share with us. So if that's just a picture of your technology, solar panels, or some kind of new, more effective turbines, or whatever it happens to be, you can just sort of hold the picture, and then you can have sort of little note cards, and you can kind of talk through your technology, again, for about 3 minutes. That's fine. If you want to create something that's a little bit more like a poster presentation, you can, if that's something that you would like to put together, some sort of, very small poster with pictures and information, you can certainly do that, but you don't have to. All I need is some sort of, again, visual representation of what your project is about, and then you're going to describe it for us. So the first thing that I had y'all do last week was to do the topic brainstorm. So the topic brainstorm was just, hey, come up with some ideas. What do you think you might want to talk about? As I also mentioned in my email yesterday, the goal of this project is not to highlight existing technologies. Um, Electric cars have been around for quite some time. They're nothing new. Lots and lots of car companies offer electric versions now. Wind turbines aren't new. They've also been around for a time. Solar panels aren't new. They've been around for a time. So I rather you didn't do a project that focused on an existing technology that's been around. If you want to use one of those things, electric cars, wind turbines, solar panels, try to find something new about it. So if there's a new type of battery, for example, in an electric car, and that battery is better because it does something different or something new, you can talk about that. Or if you have a wind turbine that has blades that have been specifically designed to reduce bird kills or something, for example, you could talk about that. But please make sure that you're not using sort of or highlighting old technology, right? Because the goal here is let's find something new. Let's find what's exciting, what's out there that's really going to make a difference in the world someday. That's what we're hoping to do. If you have more questions about the Green Technology Project, it's here in the course materials folder. I've also had some questions about, what is it supposed to look like? If I can get to campus, and I'm going to try to get to campus this week or next, I have some posters from previous classes that have done this project, and I will take pictures of those and I will put them here in the presentation folder so that you can see some examples of what others have done. But again, in order to do that, I have to get to campus, which isn't as easy as it used to be. So that will be my goal, though. My goal in the next 2 weeks will be to get that for you. Please keep in mind that the next thing you'll need to turn in is you'll need to narrow down your project to just one. So you did your brainstorm, you picked a couple things, narrow it down to one thing that you want to do, and then give me an outline of information. So if you were sketching an outline of what you're going to talk about during your presentation, that's what the outline should be. So it can just be bullet points, for example. It doesn't have to be completely written sentences. The idea here is I want to get an overview of what your video is going to be about. All right, enough about that. Let's jump to the modules. This week we are talking about global atmospheric changes, and global atmospheric changes encompasses lots of different topics here. We're going to start with a discussion of the atmosphere and air pollution, and then from there we're going to move on to talk about climate and climate change, and then I'm going to very, very briefly talk about ozone depletion. I will tell you that my lecture notes for climate change actually also include ozone depletion and also acid rain, or atmospheric deposition is what we call it. But I don't talk about those very much. So I would really recommend sort of looking through the chapter notes for a little bit more information about those two topics, and definitely relying on your reading materials this week to kind of fill in those gaps. So I apologize. I didn't want to have I already had 2 20-minute videos for you to watch. I didn't want to add an additional video to give you just an overwhelming amount of information, although it is a lot of information. I mean, these are really big topics that we're covering, and we're covering them in an expedited fashion, right? We're covering 2 things at once when normally we would spend a whole week talking about one of these topics. So that's the pace of the course, right? So this week, a couple of different assignments. Actually, hold on, let's cancel out of that. Just for a minute. One is what we're going to do is we're going to collect some class data about our cars and how much carbon dioxide or greenhouse gases our cars emit on an annual basis. So in order to do that, what you need to do is you need to go to a website that's run by the EPA. And I apologize, I should have had this up and running for y'all before I clicked my video to record for today. But let's see if we can get this to come up real quick. And you're going to go to, again, the EPA's website, and you're going to look up the information for your car. So you're going to find the year, the make, and the model of your own vehicle, and you're going to figure out what your combined miles per gallon is, your MPG, so combined highway and city driving, and then you're also going to find out how much greenhouse gases your car produces on an annual basis. So it's this website, fueleconomy.gov. So I'm going to go ahead and click there so we can kind of take a look and see what the website looks like. I won't go through the whole process with you of how to look up your car. I give you instructions right here. Oh, sorry, you're just getting all kinds of random windows in my video today. I apologize. So in any case, you'll click on this link that says find a car, and you'll do a search by make is what you're going to click on. And then when you do that, you'll click the year and the make of your car, and then you're going to choose the model year for your car. So I guess I'll just run through it real quick. I don't drive a Chrysler, but this is just so you can see. It's going to pop up with all the different model years for that particular brand. You find the one that is most closely related to your car or looks most like your car. Pay attention to things like engine side, whether it's automatic or manual in some cases. Some cars do offer that. And then when you click on them, it's going to bring up some information here under fuel economy. This is the number we want. Write this number down. So whatever your number is, your 27 miles per gallon, go ahead and write it down. Then you're going to click on energy and environment. And the next thing we want are these greenhouse gas emissions. Currently, it's in grams per mile. I don't want grams per mile. What I want is US tons per year. Okay, so it tells us 5.4 tons of greenhouse gases per year. That's what someone who's driving this car and who drives it an average number of miles, which again is 15,000 miles, that's what we're calling average, that's how much greenhouse gases your car would produce. So take those two numbers, right? Remember the 27 miles per gallon from earlier, and then the 5.4 tons of greenhouse gases. Then you're going to come back here to Blackboard, and you're going to go to the wiki. Here's our course wiki. Oh, and actually somebody has already added their information to the course wiki. So here's our course wiki. What you're going to do is you're going to edit this information. And actually, here we go. Okay. So in any way, you're going to edit this information. It's interesting that it's not letting me. You can just hit comment and put your information in the comments. That's fine too. There's usually a button here that says edit. It's not letting me edit right now. So I'm just going to hit the comment button. But you would put that information. That was a 2017 Chrysler. I don't even know what it was. And it had, you know, combined MPG of 27 and greenhouse gas emissions of whatever tons per year. Okay. And then you would click add that. I'm going to click cancel, but you'd add that. So what we're going to have then is we're going to have a class list of everybody's MPG, miles per gallon, and their greenhouse gas emissions. So what you'll have to do is, again, this is a kind of a two-part assignment. Look up your information first, but then to sort of finish, you need to wait till the end of the week till you have, I would at least wait until you have about 10 or 15 students who have put information on the wiki so you can get a good class average. What you'll do is you'll calculate the class average for those data points, and then you're going to answer some questions about it. Okay, so that's this week's activity. So we're looking at how our own personal driving habits and the cars that we drive, how that impacts our emissions locally. So then in addition to that, let's go ahead and go back to our module here. So in addition to that, we've got, here we are, just the module quiz and the discussion question as per usual. That's sort of something that we always do. Those things, again, have the same deadlines as we normally have, so please make sure you are posting your initial response or your initial post by Friday and then responding to one other person by Sunday. Keep in mind, if you only post once to the board, you're only going to get half credit. So if you saw that you only received 5 points in last week's grading for the discussion post, it was because you only posted once. Either you just responded to a student or you only posted your initial response on the board. But again, please make sure you do both so that I can give you credit for both. Okay, so that's all for this week. Let me know if you guys have any questions whatsoever. Have a good